Radio Fresh 107.9 FM Abuja. Great morning to you wherever you're listening to us from. Today, the 30th of November 2020. It's a Monday, the start of a new week. Incidentally, today, which is the start of a new working week, is the last day as far as the month of November is concerned. Today, the 30th of November, makes it 345 days gone already. 335 rather. 335 days gone already as far as the year 2020 is concerned. What that means is we are left with 31 days of the year. Tomorrow is the start of a new month, the last month as far as the year 2020 is concerned. I wish you the very best in the last couple of hours as far as November is concerned. Wish you the very best in the remaining part of the year. I always talk about how you can still maximize the remaining days that we've got in the year, how you can still get a number of things achieved in the remaining days as far as the year 2020 is concerned. Make yourself available for opportunities. Be ready. If it is if it is about your work or your business, continue to go around getting more experience, continue to get educated, continue to get trainings and all of that, just to make sure that you are in a good stead whenever an opportunity comes your way. So the remaining days of the year, trust me, could be a lot better than the last 334 days that have gone by. Thank you for joining us this morning. Bera and Pato Rankin. Bera, the Georgian artist, Pato Rankin, Nigerian, of course, coming together on that song titled Fire to the Sun. It's kickstarting things this Monday morning. It's the platform right here on Fresh 107.9 FM Abuja. Wale Bakare is my name. Great to have you join us. Security will be getting our attention this morning. But before then, we'll talk about keeping yourself safe, especially the COVID-19 pandemic. We'll give you the numbers here in Nigeria, globally, and move on to security afterwards on the program this morning. Welcome to the platform once again. Many thanks for staying with us this Monday morning. This platform radio on Fresh 107.9 FM Abuja as we kickstart another working week. Incidentally, on the last day of the month of November, Wale Bakare is my name. Great to know you're there. Joining the program this morning. I did say I will kickstart things, and it has been the tradition for the last couple of days now. It was something that we left alone for a while, and I was quick to say that maybe it is true what they say about, taking our eyes off the ball or soft pedaling on these talks about the COVID-19 pandemic. But we're back to reminding ourselves, or we have intensified efforts at reminding ourselves of the need to remain cautious, the need to remain cooperative as far as, obeying those rules and preventive measures that have been lined up over the last couple of months against the COVID. Well, according to the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, the latest figures released as of yesterday showed that 82 new cases were reported in the country. Lagos had the highest number of cases of those 82 reported. Lagos had 48 of those cases. River State, beg your pardon, had 8 new cases. Kwara and Yobe, they had 6 new cases each. Katsina had 5. The Federal Capital Territory had 3 new cases. Nasarawa had 2. Plateau, Ogun, or Kano rather. Plateau, Ogun, Kano, and Oshun had 1 new case each. At the moment, the country has, I think, 3,100 and something there about active cases. Just to be sure, let me get a hold of that figure as far as the active cases in the country are concerned. 3,184. That's the number of active cases in the country. That, of course, is what you get when you subtract the 67,412. When you subtract, from the 67,412 cases that have recorded so far, and then you take away There's 63,055 people that have recovered, and unfortunately, the 1,173 people that have died of the virus. That would leave us with 3,184 active cases in the country. As far as active cases are concerned, Lagos, they have got the highest number of active cases, 833. That's the number of active cases that they've got in Lagos. The Federal Capital Territory, following closely as far as active cases are concerned, 678. Oyo has 333 active cases. That's the third highest in the country as far as active cases are concerned. And then there's Kaduna with 191. There is Ogun with 161 active cases. That's the fourth highest, or the fifth highest rather, as far as the active cases are concerned. And then you have the likes of Nasarawa with 155. You have Plateau with 154, and it goes on and on, as far as active cases are concerned. All the information you need as far as the breakdown of the COVID-19 you can get on this dial in our various programs. We'll continue, of course, to bring you up to speed about the latest as far as the coronavirus is concerned. But the COVID-19 dedicated website of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control is also there for you to get all your information, covid19.ncdc.gov.ng, or their various social media platforms, Twitter especially, at NCDC.gov on Twitter. That's their handle. You can get all the information you need via that avenue. As far as the global situation is concerned, the United States of America still with the highest number of cases in the world. That's according to the Johns Hopkins University. Figures released by the Johns Hopkins University shows that the U.S. are still with the highest number of cases in the world. They've suffered the highest number of deaths as well, as far as the global figures are concerned. Because I did have that figure. Let's see whether I can get a hold of those figures. At the moment, there have been 62,789,645 cases globally. And there's been 1,460,049 deaths that have happened globally. So the death toll gradually getting to that 1.5 million mark. The United States, they've suffered 266,875 casualties, 172,833 in Brazil. That's the second highest in the world. And then there's 137,139 deaths in India. That's the third highest. Of course, India, they have the second highest cases in the world, although a number of people argue that India might even have had the highest number of cases in the world, saying that their testing capacity is not as much as you'd have in places like the US, Russia, France, and the likes, who are in the top 5 as far as the highest cases are concerned. But is the situation. South Africa, that's the country with the highest cases on the continent, 787,702. Last week, they were talking about a resurgence in cases, the need for people to continue to obey the guidelines and all. Right here in Nigeria, the message continues to be that you mask up, wear your face masks in public, wash your hands with soap and water, use alcohol-based sanitizers, avoid crowded places, and, if you can, stay home if you don't have to be out there. And I continue to say, very importantly, it's important that you join in the efforts to educate people around you. If you ever find yourself in a gathering where you have those folks who continue to talk about the COVID and say, well, it's gone, it's not amongst us again, don't mind them, all those things that we hear them say, please try as much as possible to educate them, remind them of the need to stay safe and protect their loved ones. Still the platform this morning on Fresh 107.9 FM Abeokuta. I did say that the security situation will be getting our attention this morning because I'm sure many of you who have been following the latest developments in the country would understand why we would come here this Monday morning talking about security or insecurity, depending on how you decide to look at it. Saturday saw a very, very sad occurrence where, different figures, well over 40 farmers were killed in Borno State. And according to the United Nations, they say that at least 110 people were killed in Borno State on Saturday. In fact, they say that about 10 women remain missing, saying some people were kidnapped by Boko Haram insurgents who killed those farmers. The Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum on Sunday morning led kinsmen and other residents at Zabamari for the funeral of 43 farmers killed by Boko Haram terrorists. At least 40 farmers were killed on Saturday morning around Marabati and Amaya villages near Zabamari in Jere local government area of Borno State by Boko Haram terrorists. The farmers, according to reports, were waylaid on their way to their rice farms, which they were harvesting before the surprise attack happened. Because the numbers, not the key issue now for so many people. The occurrence on Saturday has further, increased the number of people or the energy or how vociferous this talks about the insecurity in the country and what has to be done and what have you. Is concerned, because some have said this is the time for us to forget. It has always been the time for us to forget politics. It has always been the time for us to, forget the need to score political chip points with these things. These talks about the president should go, the security chiefs need to go, and all of that. Some are saying this is the time to really talk about our security architecture. This is the time to really ask real questions as regards why are we not achieving the required level of success as far as really degrading these terrorists are concerned, or winning the war against insurgency. Well, the defense headquarters, they continue to say that the insurgents, the bandits, have been technically defeated. They've been degraded, but a number of Nigerians say that is not the situation on ground. The director of information, let's see whether I can get that. The military, that's the military spokesman, Major General John Enneche, was appearing on a television program earlier today, where he said that the military was worried about the trend of some locals in the northeast declining to provide useful information to security agencies. The military spokesman, while appearing on that program, said some local residents reduced the military's effectiveness to combat the insecurity scourge in the region by not providing relevant information. I'll quote him in his words: "That has been our worry. It is a concern to us. You need a guide. You need information. Will they tell us? That's a question that we have to ask. Yes, sometimes, and most times, no." And that was one of the issues we have been ensuring to overcome. The civil military cooperation activities, reaching out to them, even sending people by proxy to talk to them. Those are the things that have been one of the banes of the final success in the whole of this operation. Our patrols will pass through a route in a village. By the time you are going, some people are looking at you. When you are coming back, the next thing is that you meet an IED planted on the road, and people saw them. They won't tell you. So that's the area I think we are all working together as stakeholders. And it is not possible to force information out of people. It is not possible, just like they say, you force a horse to the river, but not to drink water. So all we are trying to do is to build up their confidence in the system and encourage them to look this is not good for you. Now they do not expect that this will happen, even those ones that they deceived, that they are preaching to them. Well, it goes on and on. Responding to the UN report on Sunday that 110 people had been killed in that attack, Major General Enneche said the military casualty count still stood at 43. So he's talking about the issue of cooperation from the locals, getting information from the locals and all of that. But some would argue that the issues are a lot more than that. Yesterday night, on another television program, the former governor of Cross River State, Donald Duke, was talking about the security situation. He had a number of things to say, talking about motivation of security agencies, the training, the kind of people that we employ as security agents and all of that. Well, let's get to take a listen to him very swiftly and move on with this discussion. Later this morning, because security commentator and the chairman of the Police Community Relations Committee, that's the PCRC here in Ogun State, Venerable Dr. Samson Kokola, will be joining us. And we'll be talking about this together this morning because we are a long way away from Borno State or from the Northeast. But a lot of experts in this part of the world have looked at the situation and they continue to say things need to be done. of course. But let's take a listen to former Governor Donald Duke, first of all, and his submissions as regards the security situation in the country. And then we'll pick this up from there. Don't go anywhere.
First of all, I need to motivate the folks, the soldiers in the Northeast. I think they're undermotivated. We need to task them on intelligence gathering. Most of wars and security are based on intelligence, more of intelligence than firepower. All the weapons, most of the weaponry being used by Boko Haram come from our armory. We need to look into that. What's going on? Why are they selling arms to the enemy? On the other fronts, by now we need to develop a strategy on kidnap. How do we deal with things like that? Are the police properly motivated? I doubt it. They're not well motivated. They're not ill-trained. They don't have enough weaponry. Let me tell you an experience we gathered when I was here in Calabar. We started a strategic policing program alongside with the federal police. In fact, it was all the federal police, whereby every 5 kilometers throughout the state, there was police presence. We converted containers into substations and units manned by about 3-4 people. Vehicles are provided. Solar panel are connected to them, so they have electricity. And we gave them insurance. We motivated them. We added something to their salary and all that. And it made it with the effect was absolutely palpable throughout the state. It was, you know that within 5 kilometers or wherever you are, there's a police post. Presence is a deterrent, okay? But that's a short term. On a medium term, you need to employ a lot more people. You need to train them in modern policing techniques. You need to motivate them adequately, and you need to equip them. The level of folks we bring into the police force are a bit too low. I think it's school cert. The crime is more sophisticated than that. You have a large pool of graduate unemployed. They should be recruited. The crime is so sophisticated now. You need people who can think alongside the perpetrators of the crime. So we need to up the ante. We need to train them. We need to motivate them. Look, there are folks who will tell you that if I lose my life on this job, what is there for my family? There needs to be an insurance scheme to look after them. So that's a medium-term approach. But you need to get the states involved. The federal government cannot do it alone. We politicians think that, policing is all about elections and all that. No, it's far beyond that. The states can each release 5,000 people, and within 9 months, they're properly trained to gather information, know everybody in their neighborhood. We need to stop the barrack system. The police have to live amongst the people. We have all sorts of policing units. You have civil defense, you have the normal policing and all that. So there's a quandary and a confusion that is generated by all this. What I'm calling for is twofold. First of all, quick motivation and consequences. So if there's a crime in an area, some people are held responsible for that. Then, of course, on the medium to longer term, you need to recruit and train a lot more people and, of course, motivate them.
Former Governor of Cross River State, Donald Duke, speaking during that television program, because that was, I think, Politics Today on China's television late yesterday, where these issues of security came up, and he did raise some very interesting points. I will take a very quick pause, and when we return, like I said earlier, we'll be joined by Venerable Dr. Samson Pokwala, who is the chairman of the Ogun State PCRC, because of course he's a very apt security commentator as well, and we'll be getting his thoughts as regards our security situation. Of course, I'll be glad to hear from you as well this morning, because this is a national issue that requires all to come together and talk about this. At Fresh FM Abeokuta on Twitter, that's the avenue for you to drop your contributions. If you're watching live on Facebook, I'll be glad to hear from you. We'll definitely talk to you via the phone lines in a number of minutes, but we'll take a very quick break and return in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Binaba gori le ima feju tutoni gbogbo eyin okundun bankaje te le se ke ma gbene gori ota e ma fa ilakasi jamu ko siga sibi kibi te ba ti ri kesiri pe pana re ku finfin mo gba pe tàbí firin lorin nílé epo àti gbogbo bi tan ta fefe gaasi e ma kanalugbo e si ma dana sunle níbi kibi tó ti le jajo ran ani ri jambo ko epo ṣùgbọ́n tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ e ja jìnà síbẹ̀ kétékété kasi dẹ́kun mi ma fi na fóònù re po sínú generator e rí dájú pé npanu ọ́fíìsì àti inú ilé nígbà te ba ti nílò rẹ̀ àti tán bá mọ́ná lọ ìjáfara léwu láti ma fi lighter candle màálù ìṣáná sàròótọ́ àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké àní ṣòfò ẹ̀mí bẹ́ẹ̀ la ní ṣòfò dúkìá ẹni bá létí kó gbọ́ dènà ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ìjàmbá náà ìtanijí wá láti Fresh 107.9 FM Abẹ́òkúta.
From the rock city of Nigeria. Rock city of Nigeria. This is Fresh 107.9.
Many thanks for staying with us. Platform Radio on Fresh 107.9 FM Abeokuta. Okay, security will be getting our attention this morning. You did get to listen to the former governor of Cross River State, Donald Duke, and his submissions. Venerable Dr. Samson Bokwala joins us this morning to talk about this. Good morning. Good to have you join us, sir.
Good morning. Good good people.
Yeah, great to have you join us this morning. And very sad development, what happened over the weekend in Borno State. And especially at a time when a number of Nigerians look at the position of the military, talking about the insurgents being degraded or technically defeated. And, a number of Nigerians have always asked the question, is that really the situation on ground, or is this just the military's information? Things like what happened on Saturday, don't you think they give us the true picture somewhat of where we are at as far as this battle against terrorism or insurgency or whatever we decide to call it is concerned?
Well, let me start by saying that what happened in Borno State over the weekend was actually a very, very sad situation and a reversal of almost all the gains that we had on the issue of fighting this insurgency in the northeast. My condolences to those affected and to their immediate family. With that as it may, I think this is another wake-up call for all of us as Nigerians to know that our security situation is still not what it should be. If you look at what happened and how it happened, it is not just about the killing. It is also about the economic effect of such killings. Because when you have such large number of farmers, being attacked on their farm and then being killed like that, you could see the sort of repercussion and the ripple effect that will have on other, farmers. And of course, that is attacking the food security of this country from its very, very, from its base. And that should call for concern of all that these insurgents have gone beyond. They are now waging an economic warfare against Nigerians, and this is something that should call for concern, especially for those that are directly in charge of the security management in this country. And that brings to fore the issue of equipping our
security operatives,
security agencies, and security operatives. For those who are conversant with the northern part of Nigeria, you would know that the layout in the north is quite different from what we have down south here, especially in the southwest. In the north, you have these communities and villages that are scattered and are very far apart, sometimes 30, 40 kilometers apart, in the savannah there. So unlike what we have in the southwest here, where we are a bit more clustered, and the response time for our security agencies are quicker than what we have up there in the north. And that's a major challenge. Because if you want to really mobilize and then tackle it, that shows that we must have police and security presence in every nook and cranny. And these people select their targets. They look for vulnerable targets where the mobilization will not be quick enough. And that is why this issue of community policing of our community should take the front burner, when everybody must be brought into the security net. Everybody must know, every one of us in Nigeria, as of today, must know what to do in terms of emergency. We must know who to call and how to send out distress calls. And we must be able to, strategically place our security agency to be able to respond immediately to this sort of occurrence. you can see the trend now. The trend is happening, and it's not likely going to stop if we don't stop it. It's not likely going to stop, and that is why all hands must be on deck.
Now, when you talk about the layout in the north and how far away some of these communities are. Just before we started talking to you, we did play an excerpt from an interview by the former governor of Cross River, Donald Duke, where he was talking about the numbers of security personnel. Is that similar to what you're saying? Do you agree that we need a lot more numbers? How far away are we as far as these numbers are concerned, especially in that region where the insurgents appear to be having a great time at the moment?
Yes, far beyond the numbers. Far beyond the numbers. It is very, very clear that we are under police, and the security agencies we have, the manpower and the equipment are not enough. But beyond that, we need to now move to the second phase of getting our citizens involved in their own security. The issue of community policing should be in the front burner, just like I'm saying. Even if you have 1 million soldiers and you have 1 million policemen, you'll still not be adequate. You'll still not be adequate to man the expanse of land that we have in Nigeria and the number and our population that keeps exploding every year in, year out. So we need to bring, people, the informal security sector now. The informal security sector, not the uniformed ones now, but to bring everybody, the students, the artisans, market women, and everybody, for everybody to know what to do and how to react to emergencies. It is only when we have that flow of information that even before the plans take off, somebody will have, hinted the security agencies, we've heard about this thing, it's likely going to take place tomorrow or day after, and so they are ready for it. Rather than being reactive, we need to have more of proactiveness in our security management.
The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enenche, was speaking earlier this morning on Channels Television, and he was saying that it has cooperation with the locals has always been an issue. In fact, I'll quote a part of what he said, where he said, "Our patrols will pass through a route in a village. By the time you are going, some people are looking at you. When you are coming back, the next thing is that you meet an IED planted on the road. And the people saw them, but they won't tell you." And then he said, that's the area I think we're all working together as stakeholders. Talking about, civil military cooperation activities and how he says that is one issue affecting, the fight against the insurgents.
Well, that is a result of coercion and brainwashing. When you have the citizens that do not feel secure in the presence of their security agencies, that's a major challenge. That's a major problem. From what he has said, you will look at it that the locals will feel that by giving up on those bandits, they will come back to retaliate or something like that, and that will give them that fear of exposing them. And that is why I said we have to bring them closer. We have to bring them closer. We have to be able to educate them. We have to let them know their rights when it comes to issue of security. And don't forget that most of these communities we are talking about in the north, they are not as educated as in the down south here. So they are not used to this technology. They are not WhatsApp compliant. They are not telephone compliant and all that. So these are the areas that we really need to work on. These are the areas that we really need to work on. We really need to bring our people up to date when it comes to security management. Everybody, like I said, everybody is important when it comes to security, but somebody needs to motivate them. Somebody needs to teach them what to do. Somebody must be there for them to tell them that these are the consequences of your being inactive when it comes to, giving information to the people. When you have a policeman that leaves Majuguri, for example, and have traveled about 30, 40 kilometers, to go and quell an insurgent, and then, of course, the locals know that immediately after quelling that insurgent, those police will be back in Majuguri again. Why the insurgents will be around And so, naturally, everybody will have that fear for their life that by giving up on this, our insurgency. And that is why we need to do more in bringing our people to the level of awareness that security is everyone's business.
No.
The death you run away from today will come back to you tomorrow if you don't do something about it.
But
and that's going to be we need to hop on it.
All these things that you talk about, one would expect that after so many years of, having to battle the insurgents, we would have gone past this level.
Yes. But you know that for as long as you keep fueling the fire, no matter the number of fire extinguisher you use, the flame will continue to burn.
So have we been the ones fueling this fire? How have we been fueling this fire?
I think the intelligence community of this country has failed this nation. The intelligence community has failed this nation. Because if we have an insurgent that has taken about 10, 12 years running, and we have not been able to get to the root of their sponsors, we've not been able to get to the root of those that are behind it. For crying out loud, the sort of equipment they use, they are not something you buy in Itoko, you buy in Ishakwa. These are high sophisticated equipment that you buy, and the source should be known. The source should be known. Those that have been caught and you found the arms and ammunition with them, you should be able to trace. You should be able to trace those ammunition back to the manufacturer and back to those who have ordered for them and back to those who have been able to distribute them. And I think the security, like I said, the intelligence community of this country needs to do more to safeguard this. The police will do their bit, the army will do their bit, but the intelligence is the key when it comes to fighting crimes like this. We are not fighting a conventional battle. This is not a battle between Shadian army and Nigerian army, or American soldiers and Nigerian soldiers. No, we are fighting an unconventional war in a conventional way. It will not. We will continue to be at it for a very long time. I think we need more of intelligence to know who are those behind this, who are those fueling them, who are those paying them, where are they getting their funding from, where are they getting their equipment from, where are they getting their arms and ammunition from. We should have been able to pick out 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 in this country and show them to the world that these are the people behind this insurgency, and we deal with them. By dealing with them, we'll be able to curtail others from joining that fray.
All right. I've been speaking with the state chairman of the PCRC, Venerable Dr. Samson Bokwala. I'll be talking about the security situation in the Northeast, especially after what happened, over the weekend in Borno State. Just before I let you go, because I'd love to, get some thoughts from those listening to us as well. Just before I let you go this morning, what do you make of some people who believe that one of the things the president or the presidency needs to do, first of all, is to let go of the security chiefs because they believe that they just have not done well or they've not shown that they can win this war?
Well, it's a two-sided coin. To me, it has to do with the people involved. The president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He will have his briefings. He will have some other things that we as ordinary citizens might not know about. If this administration still feels that they are comfortable with the service chiefs that they have, then there's very little that we can do as citizens. But I think beyond this that I have said, that we need to try other hands. If these people have been there for 4 years, 5 years, and they have not been able, we need to now bring in fresh ideas. We need to bring fresh ideas. We need to, when you bring somebody in, the zeal will be there. The skills to want to make a mark will be there. And of course, if you have somebody that's been there for 4 or 5 years, the fatigue will be there. The brain fatigue will be there, the communication fatigue will be there, the operational fatigue will be there. And I think the president needs to look inward and inject new blood who will be able to fight this battle for us. I think I agree with those that are saying that we need new hands in the leadership of our security, of our service chiefs.
How about those that continue to talk about down south here? I've listened to so many people say, the trend, we need to be careful down south. We need to, keep our eyes open, make sure, down south is not infiltrated and all of that. In your interactions with security agents, I know with the police and a lot of others, are you aware of such preventive moves being made?
Well, it's only when we want to fool ourselves that we say we in the southwest or the southeast that we are safe. This is a trend, and you will know that in the last couple of days we've been hearing a lot of sad news coming from Ekiti, coming from Udo. And when we have that knocking at the back of our door, then we should all know that no one will be safe. The more these people do things and get away with it, the more emboldened they are to penetrate. Don't look at this thing. This is an economic war. This is a political war being fought. It is not just that some people are just, this is an ideological thing that they want to force on the country. And we have to see it like that. We have to see it like that, and everybody have to guard their loins. Whether we are living in the southwest or in the south or in the southeast, no one will be safe if this thing is not nipped in the bud. No one will be safe. And when we are talking about these security chiefs once again, even in the police, they have their tenure. You will know how many Inspector General of Police that have passed, under this particular administration. But you don't seem to have that in the Navy, you don't seem to have that in the Army, you don't seem to have that where people will just serve for a number period of time and then they will go and others will take over from them. And I think we need to do this with other security agencies so that at least new blood and new ideas can be injected in security architecture.
All right, thank you very much. Very good, Dr. Samson Gokwala. Thank you for talking to us this morning on the platform.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Of course, your thoughts are highly appreciated. As the state PCRH chairman, because blending his voice as far as the security situation in the north, or should I say in the country, is concerned. Because we all get our turn. We get to hear from you this morning as far as your thoughts are concerned about this issue. Latest information, or one of the things that we got this morning from the defense headquarters is a complaint that some civilian informants also sabotaged the operations in Northeast. The military spokesperson, just like I said earlier, Major General John Eneche, while appearing on a television program, said some local residents reduced the military's effectiveness to combat the insecurity scourge in the region by not providing relevant information. Because the variables Kokola did talk about how some of these people, are scared for their lives. They look at the situation and say, well, if we call the army or the police, they'll be here. They'll head back, to wherever their base is. But then you have these insurgents around us or these other people around us. So these are serious issues. And it just goes to tell us that, just like he said, it's a non-conventional war. It's a very technical war. And, the big question is, are we getting the hang of the situation? Are we really, really winning the war, as the military hierarchy says, or have continued to say over time? I'll get to talk to you in a moment. Don't go anywhere. Many thanks for staying with us. Platform right here on Fresh 107.9 FM Abeokuta. I've been talking security all day this morning. The numbers to call to be a part of the discussion on the program: 0815 432 1079, 0815 432 1079, 0818 111 1079, 0818 111 1079. Those are the numbers. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yeah. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
My name is Steve Black. and I'm calling from Mowe.
Mr. Steve Black, good morning. Talk to us.
Yeah. First of all, the complaint from General Menche has no basis. He has no meaning. The Americans didn't wait for the information from the locals to come all the way from the U.S. to rescue one person from Niger Republic and Nigeria, especially in Nigeria. We have the Air Force, we have the Army, we have the police and all that. The Air Force has aircraft. Like your analyst, like your guest said, the intelligence community has failed us. So if all this combination of the Army and the Air Force cannot locate and pinpoint where they are and give them a heavy bombardment for weeks or months to finish them, then nature is waiting for a civilian, a villager to come and give them information.
Mr. Black.
Information that will put their lives in jeopardy.
Mr. Black.
Yeah.
I was going to very quickly point out, just before you go on, you mentioned how the Americans came here to rescue their citizen. You would also remember that the American Army also acknowledged that they got support from the Nigerian Army, and maybe the Nigerian Army relied on intelligence from locals as well. So to say that the Americans did not rely on intelligence from locals might not be entirely correct.
It's not that they didn't rely on information from the Nigerian Army.
Okay.
They won't have been able to come into a sovereign territory to just fly in and rescue their people and go out. No, it's not done.
Okay. So
we are talking about war happening inside Nigeria. We should not be saying because we are not getting information from the locals and the army cannot go there and do what they are supposed to do. Okay. Let me not prolong this issue.
All right, thank you.
Let me tell you the truth. If the president today wants this war to end, this war will end. The president is not yet sincere. What does he want? Captured Boko Haram.
Hello? Well, I was really hoping to, get the end of that point that you were making. But I was quickly going to say that, when you say that the president doesn't want the war to be won, his administration is getting criticized every day because of this war. Are you saying the president is fine with his administration being criticized and all? Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Wale.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Bolan from Shagawa.
Yes, Mr. Bolan, talk to us.
I just want to have my take.
Go ahead.
The fact remains that this insecurity of the things is something that has been happening. Most importantly, the farmers that they attack. The attack has been coming on for a couple of months now. It was when it is massive now that we can be able to understand, because I've heard much about it from a reliable source. That's a fact. So what I want to say, a comment to it, is just like the fact remains that as it is, the condition that we have in the country now, the monarch has spoken, the youth spoken, and the elders, which are the community leaders, all of them have spoken because they live around all what is going on. They are the ones, the defense headquarters. I mean, all they are giving us is just like maybe it's contradicting what is really happening. And it shouldn't be. I think I will advise the senior citizens, which are the Senate, this is the time they should work. They represent us. And they should not just sit down. It should not be like a rubber stamp, the way they say it. They should talk to the Mr. President. This is their time to talk. They are their stakeholders too. They should talk. They should speak for people. Before it gets out of hand. Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Bolan. Thank you very much. 0815-432-1079, 081-8111-1079. Please turn on the volume on your radio anytime you want to talk to us. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
I am Oyebola Akinola from Igalade.
All right, Mr. Oyebola. Talk to us, sir.
Yes. The solution, the very quick solution to the problem of insecurity in this country is for Buhari, the president, to assemble all retired and serving generals in Nigeria to chart a way out of this shameful situation in which we find ourselves. How can insurgents last more than 15 years in the country, where we have a general as the president, and we have very many retired generals, infantry, and all the rest of them. It is very shameful. So I am advising that President Buhari should assemble all retired generals and serving generals to channel a way out and clear the insurgents from Nigeria.
All right, sir. Thank you. Thank you. So the platform this Monday morning, thank you for staying with us thus far. Just about 6 minutes before I leave the studio this morning, but that's still enough time to get to talk to one or two more of you this morning as far as this talks about the security situation is concerned. The numbers 0815-432-1079, 0815-432-1079, 0818-111-1079. Good morning.
Hello, Fresh.
Good morning.
I am Bakare.
Good morning.
And I'm calling from Abantu. You see, the policies of the government have now turned around for conflict. In a situation of war, your prisoners, you don't release them in the time of as the war rages on. You are supposed to, keep them in a place and keep them as prisoners of war. But this government releasing these people to say they radicalize them. And there are occasions now when they have detected that those people you have released, that you said you have radicalized, went turn around and ambush some of our military. So that is one policy that the government got wrong. Then the second one that I will want to suggest, Nigeria is a part of the international community. If rotations like this is too tough for a country, then you can seek for external cooperation from the international community. Look at Mali, when Mali was in front of this sort of insurgency. Mali extended their hands to France, and France came to Mali, the Ogaden region, with their troops in assisting assisted the Malian government. Sure. So what is wrong with the Nigerian government? Calling, stretching their arms to the United Nations, or even possibly the UK, who was our colonial master, like Mali did with France.
All right.
That is my final say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Barry. Thank you for your contribution. I'm not sure I can squeeze him any more calls because of our time this morning. He talks about asking the international community for help. There was a time there were talks about from a former prime minister saying that someone, rejected their offer for help, although that person came out to say that was in the situation. But, a very interesting point you raise as far as that particular one is concerned. At Fresh FM, I built on Twitter. That's where we can keep this discussions going. Because a number of you did send in your thoughts earlier this morning as far as this particular matter is concerned. Just like one of you earlier during this particular program mentioned, there are a lot of talks as a lot of people asking questions, saying how is it that we have a retired general as president, a lot of them around, and we can't figure out a way to end this particular situation. Yes, I was referencing the former UK Prime Minister David Cameron, who alleged that former President Goodluck Jonathan did refuse the help of the UK government on the particular issue of rescuing the Chibok girls after they were abducted, although it was something former President Goodluck Jonathan denied, saying that it is untrue what the former UK Prime Minister David Cameron was saying. But, this talks about international community help. I'm sure it's something that has been raised over time by some individuals. That's the program this morning, as it seems, but we can keep these conversations going via our various social media platforms at Fresh FM at Belgota on Twitter. I know quite a number of you joined us live on Facebook this morning. Many thanks to you, I should say, to those of you who joined us live on Facebook. I'm trying to get a hold of the page now to see whether we can squeeze in some of your comments and thoughts. That's not to be at this time, but thank you very much, for joining in and sending in your thoughts to us as far as the program is concerned. The platform returns Wednesday, God willing. At that time, it will be December. Remember, as I said a lot earlier, there's a need for us to continue to protect ourselves, obey the guidelines as we've always reeled out, or has been reeled out by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and the various ministries of health. COVID-19 is still very much around. We don't want a resurgence. We don't want us to begin to have talks again about, possibly shutting down whatever part of the country or locking down whatever part of the country. If you don't want that, then we all have a responsibility. We all have a role to play. Protect yourselves. Wear your face mask. Let's stop this virus from spreading, and hopefully we'll all be fine eventually. Thank you very much for being a part of the program. Wale Bakare is my name. Enjoy your Monday. Good morning.
Is Fresh 107.9 FM, your feel-good radio. This is Fresh 107.9, where we keep you fresh all day.
Onto Keriri, Omilutiti. Fresh 107.9 FM lábẹ́ Olúmọ. Wọ́n gbọ́ lókè lálá. Ẹ̀gbálawa nílùú Abẹ́òkúta. Bínaba gorí ilé ìmọ̀ fẹ́jú tuntun ni gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọ̀kúndùn bankẹ̀jẹ̀ tẹ́ lè ṣe kẹ́ ẹ má gbẹ̀nẹ́ gorí ọ̀tà ẹ má fa ìlàkàsí jàmúkú sìgá síbikíbi tẹ́ ẹ bá ti rí kẹsìrí pẹ́ paná rẹ̀ kú fínfín má gbà pé tàbí fínni lọrin nílé epo àti gbogbo bí tẹ́ni tafẹ́fẹ́ gáàsì ẹ má kànáà lùgbó ẹ sì má dáná sunlẹ̀ níbikíbi tó ti lè jájò náà àníri jàǹbọ̀ ọkọ̀ epo ṣùgbọ́n tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹja jìnà síbẹ̀ kétékété kásì dẹ́kun mímọ́ fínà fóònù rẹ̀ epo sínú jẹnẹrétọ̀ ẹ rí dájú pé ń panu ọ́fíìsì àti inú ilé nígbà tẹ́ ẹ bá ti nílò rẹ̀ àti tán bá múná lọ ìjáfara léwu láti máa fi láìtà kándù ìṣáná sàròótọ́ àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké àní ṣòfò ẹ̀mí bẹ́ẹ̀ la ní ṣòfò dúkìá ẹni bá létí kó gbọ́ dènà ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ìjàmbá náà ìtanijí wá láti Fresh 107.9 FM Abẹ́òkúta.
Boy now, boy now. Oh, I don't wanna. Live my life for you. All over the news, Only God and I know the kind of thing I do.